Welcome one and all, I am Vrishali and you are watching Power Electronics and Applications series. In this video, we are going to learn what is a single phase full converters. So, we will discuss a single phase full converter with resistive load, with inductive load. In inductive load, there are two types of modes, a rectifying mode and inverting mode. So after studying this single phase full converter, we will see effect of freewheeling diode. So let's start. In our previous video, we have seen this hierarchy of phase controlled rectifiers. So in today's video, we will start with our first rectifier, that is fully controlled or single phase full converter with resistive load. So let's start. So this is a single phase full converter. It is a two quadrant converter. It's operating from a single phase supply. It is a fully controlled bridge circuit. Here we can see there are four thyristors T1, T2, T3 and T4. Along with that, at the load side, one resistor is connected, R. So it is called as fully controlled bridge circuit with resistive load. Also we can see it is operating from a single phase supply, that is a AC supply. So in this single phase full converter, a diagonally opposite pair of thyristors are made to conduct and commutated simultaneously. So T1 and T2 are made to conduct at a time, whereas T3 and T4 are made to conduct at a time. So during positive half cycle of a AC supply, what will happen? During first positive half cycle, the thyristor T1 and T2 will be in forward bias. So if T1 and T2 are triggered at a same firing angle alpha and at the same time, then current flows through L, T1, resistor R, T2 and N through this path as T1 and T2 are conducting. So it is highlighted in this figure. L, T1, resistor R, T2 and N. So similarly, during the negative half cycle of a AC supply, T3 and T4 will be forward biased. So if T3 and T4 are triggered simultaneously with the same firing angle alpha, then as T3 and T4 are conducting, the current will flow through N, T3, resistor R, T4 and L. So it is highlighted in this diagram. So when the supply voltage falls to 0, current also goes to 0. Here you can see this is a supply voltage waveform and this is a load current waveform. So when supply voltage goes to 0 at pi, current also goes to 0. So thyristor T1 and T2 conducts for the positive half cycle of a supply voltage. So this is a positive half cycle where T1 and T2 conducts, and during negative half cycle T3 and T4 conducts. They turn off by a natural commutation. Now we will see the expressions for average DC voltage. So EDC is given by 1 upon pi integration alpha to pi Em sin omega t and integrating it with respect to d omega t. So as we know, integration of sine is minus cos. So substituting the value of pi and alpha, we will get cos pi is minus 1. So minus minus will become plus 1 minus of cos alpha. So 1 minus of cos alpha will be 1 plus cos alpha. Then average load current is given by Em divided by pi r 1 plus cos alpha. As EDC is Em by pi 1 plus cos alpha, so EDC divided by resistor R. So this expression divided by R, V by R or EDC by R will become our average load current. Then RMS load voltage is given by Em square by pi integrating alpha to pi sin square omega t d omega t, and this whole term in square root. So sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. So integrating with respect to d omega t, 1, so integrating 1 will give omega t minus integrating cos 2 omega t is sin 2 omega t by 2. This 2 has taken outside. So substituting the values of pi and alpha, we will get Em pi minus alpha upon 2 pi plus sin 2 alpha upon 4 pi raised to 1 by 2. Now we will see single phase full converter with inductive load. So let's start. So this is a fully controlled single phase bridge with RL load. Here you can see at a load side along with the resistor, one inductor has been connected in a series. So in this, conduction does not take place until the thyristors are fired. T1 and T2 must be fired together in the first half cycle, as we have seen in case of single phase full converter resistive load. Similarly, T1 and T2 must be fired together in first half cycle, whereas T3 and T4, these two must be fired together in the next half cycle. So as we have seen in a resistive load converter, similarly in this case also both the thyristors T1 and T2 or T3 and T4 must be fired from the same firing angle. Then the inductance L is used to reduce the ripple in this circuit. A large value of inductance will result in a continuous steady state current in the load, but the small value of inductance will produce a discontinuous load current for the large firing angles. We will see in case of waveforms. So during the first negative half cycle of a AC supply, at the firing angle alpha is equal to 60 degree, first T1 and T2 are fired. So current will flow as we have seen in case of resistive load. Similarly, it will flow through the L, T1 point A, then through load, that is a L inductor and R resistor, then at point B, thyristor T2 and N. So it is written over here that current flows through the path L, T1, A, L, R, B, T2 and N. So this is the waveform for rectifying mode of single phase full converter with inductive load. So the voltage waveform at a DC terminal comprises a steady state DC component on which it superimposed an AC ripple component having a fundamental frequency equal to twice of that AC supply. The input line current has a square waveform of amplitude ID. So this is a supply voltage and this is a current waveform. So as highlighted with a blue color, the input line current has a square waveform and its amplitude is ID, whereas the supply voltage is a sinusoidal waveform. The fundamental component of this waveform is in phase with the input voltage. So this is a fundamental current. The supply voltage from this instant appears across the output terminal. It forces the current through load. This load current ID is assumed to be constant. This current also flows through supply. The direction of ID is from line to a neutral, which is taken positive along with the applied voltage. However, because of a very large value of inductance, the current is maintained in the same direction at a constant magnitude ID. So this is a magnitude ID of a load current square waveform. So ID keeps the thyristor T1 and T2 in a conducting state. So the value of T1 and T2 thyristor current, it is shown over here. So here you can see this is a T1 and T2. So when the ID current is positive, that is it's a positive half cycle, that time this ID keeps T1 and T2 also in a conducting state. Hence, the negative supply voltage appears across the output terminal. So this is a circuit diagram for single phase full converter in a rectifying mode. So at an angle pi plus alpha, T3 and T4 are fired. With this negative line voltage, reverse biases the T1 through T3 and T2 through T4 of a commutating thyristors T1 and T2. So the current flows through the path as T3 and T4 are conducting, so it will go in this way, N, T3, A, then through load, inductor, resistor, point B, T4 to L. So it is written over here. So the line current is positive when T1 and T2 are conducting, and it is negative when T3 and T4 are conducting. So the average output DC voltage can be obtained as EDC is given 1 upon pi Em sin omega t d omega t, integrating it over alpha to pi plus alpha. So it will give this value. Integration of sin omega t is minus cos omega t. Substituting value of pi plus alpha and alpha, we will get 2 En by pi cos alpha. So this single phase full converter operates in two modes. If the firing angle is less than 90 degree, then it operates in a rectifying mode. Whereas if firing angle is greater than 90 degree, then it acts as an inverting mode. So let's see these both modes. So this is a rectifying mode waveform which we have already seen. So during the interval alpha to pi, so this alpha to pi interval, the supply voltage is positive and Is, that is a current, supply current is also positive. So power flows from AC source to load. During the interval pi plus alpha, so this is a pi, I will use another color. So this is a pi and this is alpha. So during this interval pi plus alpha, that is a pi to pi plus alpha, the Es becomes negative but Is is still positive. So the load therefore returns some of its energy to the supply system. So as we have seen, EDC is equal to 2Em by pi cos alpha. If the value of alpha is less than 90 degree, the EDC is positive. Therefore, the power flows from AC side to DC side and the converter acts as a rectifier. In case of inverting mode, what happens? These are the waveforms for firing angle 135 degree. So now the alpha is greater than 90 degree. The EDC waveform will contain mean negative component. A fundamental component of a AC line current waveform lags the voltage by an angle 135 degree. So in this, since the EDC is negative, so this EDC is negative, that is a mean AC power will also be negative. So power is now being delivered from DC side of a converter to AC side. So in this case, converter is operating as a commutated inverter. So the circuit diagram of fully controlled bridge converter operating as a line commutated inverter is shown over here. Now we will see what is the effect of freewheeling diode. So in this circuit you can see this is a AC supply at the input side. This is a rectifier circuit. At output there is a load connected, and parallel to that there is a diode DF, which is nothing but a freewheeling diode. Now we will see what is the impact of this freewheeling diode. So the many circuits such as half or uncontrolled, which include a diode across the load. This diode can be known as commutating diode or flywheel diode or bypass diode. To commutate or transfer the load current away from the rectifier, whenever the load voltage goes into a reverse state, this DF is used. This freewheeling diode can also be used to prevent the reversal of a load voltage except for a small diode voltage gap. To transfer the load current away from the main rectifier, thereby allowing the thyristor to regain their blocking states, this diode is used. So this is a circuit of a half-wave controlled rectifier with a freewheeling diode DF connected across the load. This is an inductive load RL, and here single phase supply is given. This is a thyristor T1. So with the diode DF, thyristor will not be able to conduct beyond 180 degrees. So during the positive half cycle, voltage is induced in the inductance. Now this induced voltage will change its polarity as the di by dt changes its sign. The diode DF will start conducting, thereby enabling the inductance to discharge its stored energy into the resistance. Hence, after 180 degree, the load current will freewheel through the diode, that is a reverse voltage will appear across the thyristor. So here you can see after pi radian or after 180 degree, the reverse voltage will appear across the thyristor. So the power flow from the input takes place only when the thyristor is conducting. If there is this freewheeling diode during the negative cycle, thyristor will return the energy stored in the load inductance to the supply line. With the diode DF, the freewheeling action takes place and no power will be returned to the source. Hence, the ratio of reactive power from the input to the total power consumed in the load is less for the phased control circuit with a freewheeling diode. So this freewheeling diode improves the input power factor, which is EI by sin phi upon EI. So cancelling EI, which will be less. So sin phi is less. As phi is less, the power factor cos phi will be more. So this is the advantage of freewheeling diode in a converter circuit. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, and happy e-learning.